Just let me know when to speak. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Herein, episode 33. Hope everybody's having a good Wednesday. Markets are once again at a major pivot point here. Majors have been, slow grinding throughout the week here under this bearish resistance throwback level at 11.1 right now. Ethereum, it's very similar case right now, guys. These rates right now 66, 351. It's fair, we can see that this rate is contracting. So, I think we're going to be having a breakout probably in the next 14 years. Take a gem. Hope you're having a good time. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody, a couple minutes to come in here. Let's some retweets. We will start off taking a quick look at PokeStarter. This thing is up 30x. It just, we've been pretty big on Polkadot's 2 ecosystems. They the first guys to launch a DEX on Polkadot. It's going to enable capital raising, cross-chain swaps, full KYC. People don't like to hear that, but initially there's going to be no KYC, but later on there will be KYC. They're looking to build the ecosystem. And this is their DEX on launch. So anybody saying the sales scene is dead, it's not. A lot of these things, a lot of opportunity. It's something that we've been covering in our Chapter series, our weekly that later on in the show. So let's take a quick look here at the major guys. Again, we're sitting in this bearish throwback level. This isn't the place you want to be getting long off or anything. Hopefully this is a bit better on the audio. Guys, what we're looking for then is to move over the 10 level, and then I think we'd go up to 11.4. I think with the markets, the way we're coiling into this election, it's not that far away. This is 4 or 5 weeks. I think we're going to be in this risk-off environment for the next 4 weeks through the month of October. Clicking. Sorry guys, I'm going to put it back in. I'm in rendezvous. Okay, good now, guys. Sorry about that. How are we doing? Good? Okay, yeah, let me know if it's bad. Anyways, yeah, this is what we're waiting for on Bitcoin. A move above this 10.9 up to 11.4. If we break down here, I think we'd probably see a retest back down to that 10.2. But again, probably consolidation for the next month. Just some alarms here, guys. No real reason to be trading any of this. If you look at the 30-day volatility, we've dropped down to 2% again. So this coin market, traders want to trade volatility. They want to move risk. This isn't the market for you. We always say Ethereum, if you're going to be trading the markets, is the much better choice. Its volatility on the 30-day index right now sitting at 5.8%, almost a 3x over Bitcoin. So much. If we see a trending market, you want to be in the asset that has the highest volatility, is going to give you the greatest percentage returns if you're confident in the direction. So what we're looking for here, it's Saturday here actually, very similar to Bitcoin, just contract range. Let's go back, drop that down a little bit. So what are we looking for right here? Well, right now, again, no trades to be If we see a move above 365, we will be looking for a move back up to retest this, 390 level. But any move below this, pivotal 348, 350 here for the past 2 days now almost. We'll be looking for another tag of this 320 support. This market structure isn't great. We've seen the bearish throwbacks on the higher time frames here respected, the daily supports respected, and now we're seeing a similar throwback here. You can see this contracting range when you do something like this. Okay. Yeah, sorry guys, we're just working out these technical microphone difficulties. Everybody said it was much better on stream though. No, it's a USB plugin. Okay. So anyways, as you can see, we've, this range is contracting. We've had 26%, enjoyed that 20% range for a couple of weeks. We're down to 4. So just set some alarms, wait for the breakouts. There's much better opportunities, especially in the DeFi space right now. Let's take a quick look here at my favorite charts, the DeFi perp. We're having much higher velocity moves here right now in the majors, and we've just, taken a very key level here. Like I said, a lot of these alt charts are at key pivot points right now. If we see this DeFi perp break below, this 2000 level here, I think we're going to be in trouble. Probably see a rate of these lows down here. I would be targeting, this nice little block down here, closer to that 1400 range. This is probably going to be the key daily support that gets tested at some point. Label that like that. But again, we're in these tracking ranges right now. The real trade opportunities is going to come from expansions. All you have to do, identify those throwback levels for your entries and exits, set some alarms, and just wait, right? Let's take a quick look here at why. Okay. Looks like we're just going to restart on our rendezvous here. 1 second. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I don't know why it started clicking. We've been doing this all morning. It was fine. Okay. Talking now. Sharing screen. Has to be rendezvous. Okay, are we back? We're good? Yeah, talking. Sorry, guys, working this out. Okay. Well, back to it. So, a huge debacle over the weekend here. This Andre guy, founder of the Y Finance ecosystem, he tests in production. We've been saying for a while this testing in production, it will burn people. I get it with DeFi. There's so many moving parts and things that you almost have to test in production for some of this stuff. But some people who are doing analytics, digging on-chain data stuff and contracts, saw that he had launched a new contract. Quickly, it spread through crypto, got $15 million, and someone executed a flash. It's not a hack. It's not an exploit. It's really just using flash loans. And in the end, it wiped out everybody. And sure enough, people, to some degree, they blamed Andre. And this thing is dumped down. I think it was down like 20% at some point following the hack. And it's coming to a very key level here, right? And everybody is going to be screaming head and shoulders on this one. If it does break down, I'm not totally sold just yet. I think it's going to really depend on what the majors do here in this contracting range. But this is going to be the level very similar to what we're looking for on Uniswap right now. So if we do break down from here, it's I'm looking for like 20%. Would I take this trade? I think I'd be more looking to take the long side of this trade versus looking to short this down. But a lot of people are looking at this right now. So what would we be expecting from a bullish conclusion of this? Like, look at the momentum indicators down here, right? So we don't see any div just yet. We could make a div if this does in fact dive down, comes back up. If this flips to a bearish throwback, PT we'll call it, then I think we could explore lower prices. I don't think we're going to see that just yet on that first stab. The bulls are going to be looking for, a higher low like this. So this would be your confirmation, confirming this higher low confirms this low here in a very key daily spot, right? So I think, punting along between 12 to 15,000, that's going to be what I'm going to be looking for and looking to do. What would be my target? Well, I'd probably be looking for these highs to get run. And then, there's obviously this huge block up here around 40,000. And 32,000. Again, I think the outcome of this is going to be really dependent on what we see in the majors here and the velocity of these moves that are coming up right now. I think they're going to dwarf what we've seen in the past, especially with Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is, even on the daily, it's not really moved a lot. This was a great little rally, but I think a lot more people are expecting a true bull rally. You're waking up to $1,000 daily candles and things like that. But again, there's just no reason to be getting long on this stuff until we see a break of this level. I think it's a little bit more clear sometimes on the horizontals when you're just using Bitcoin wisdom, right? So yeah, this all kind of almost looks like in a little ascending triangle. Take it off like that or something. Actually that's pretty good, isn't it? Kind of building this really nice flaggy base. What's concerning is this momentum's getting up there again as well. So what would we be looking for here? Well, you got a higher low, a series of higher lows. If we do get rejected off here, if we saw support, like this again, ping-ponging like that, I think, eventually we'd see something like this. I think, and it would line up perfectly if we saw this into the election, right? I think it's going to maintain that risk off until after the election. Let's take a quick look here at the Uniswap perps. We focus a lot in the Gem Hunter series on this stuff. It's very difficult to be, are we moving to all-time highs in a lot of these Uniswap pairs right now? Probably not until we're above this bullish throwback level. If anything, this is an awful bearish market structure. Constant lower highs, lower lows. Maybe there could be a falling wedge here. This might be generous. It might just play out. Let's take a look. Kind of there. I would take that trade if it actually broke out of this. My target would be this bullish throwback level. So I wouldn't trade the Uniswap perp necessarily at this point. We put a lot of research into the, what's actually good in the Uniswap pairs. I would want to take advantage of the higher velocity stuff, like the Polka starter, the ETH verse, things like that. Polka starter probably be the most interesting one just because it's the most liquid. I think they're doing like, $20 million on their launch volume and stuff. So that's what I'll be looking for on here. Again, you can just kind of set some alarms on these lows and just the bearish throwback levels. It's very easy trading here, guys. Once we see a confirmation above this level here, you're going to know that the trend is on your favor. So, the probabilities are flipped in your favor once again. We'd be targeting a move up to here. If we saw something, break like this, this turns into support right off that former resistance level, and then a move targeting, this 29,000 level with these untested. I'm actually kind of surprised this broke down as soon as it did because of that. But again, it's just so dominated by what Ethereum does, right? It's so correlated. So yeah, it's going to definitely, the outcome is going to be dependent on what happens here. The same thing with the SPX. Like, the legacy market's actually looking pretty good. Coming off that the debate last night, which was a train wreck, if you ask me, and a lot of other people down in the States. Huge bullish spring. In fact, I was looking at this a little bit earlier. Kind of have a bullish inverted head and shoulders almost. Let's take a quick look at this. Can we be, a bull? Is this headed to new highs right now? No. We need to clear this throwback level here for kind of around there. Kind of messy, but imagine this throwback level around there, 34.70, 34.90. This is the former all-time high level. Actually, this is a key resistance spot, and be a huge market pivot if the market is bullish. So again, you can kind of see here. This is what I was looking for. It did hold these lows, which is why I thought it looked really good. We would expect. Well, what's the outcome of this? Well, probably a rate of these highs right here, right? So, it's 3,400, 34.25 level. This is going to be the first level to be keeping an eye on. If this is bullish, we'd see something run up into here and this support. Just that staircase, right? That's what you look for in bullish markets and identifying bullish market structure. But if we do see, the price rally here, I think we'd see a lot of short and selling interest coming right here. It's a really great level, and depending on what happens at that 34.50, just under 3,500, I think we see where the rest of the market goes. Again, the king dollar, it's down a little bit today, coming off that bearish throwback level. We were looking for months for that thing to get tagged. A lot of people are calling bearish on the dollar going into the election. I wouldn't be sold just yet. We're coming into the bullish throwback right here. What has Wyckoff structure taught us? Taught us that this is not the place that you want to be getting short. If anything, if you're a dollar bull, this is where you're going to be reloading, right? You have a lot of confluence. This really good, this is a daily, but also I have it down here on the 4-hour intraday level. You got the volume nodes supporting this and stuff right now. So this is a very easy chart to play. You're either if you got your short up here, you're taking some profit off here, right? If this does bounce, what are we going to be looking for? Well, we need to see this level cleared here. I think if we clear this level, we'll definitely see a run of these highs. And this is the scary situation, right? So I'll just draw a line off here or something. So I'll use this tool here, give you a better zone. I don't, as cool as it is to call price to the dollar or the cent, it's not the best strategy. So I like taking zones like this. We're going to see wicks. This is the ultimate target. For the USD, if it does break this 4-hour bearish throwback, which is actually a weekly bearish throwback as well. So keeping a close eye onto that. I think dollar strength into the rest of the year makes sense, especially considering how fragile the emerging economies markets are right now. I think this is the other chart that everybody should be watching as well. ETC, we've been consolidating here for about a month and a half now. There's a huge gap that's unfilled down here. We've run into a huge daily resistance level, whoop, like this. If we start seeing, if this is flipping to support, alt season is on. Bitcoin dominance will be taking a sharp tumble. So it's very clear of how you would be trading this in these range expansions, right? And similar to the downside. So let's take a quick look at what we're seeing here and what we could expect. You got the weekly Stoke crossing down as well right now, but these range low, this range right here, it's pretty poorly drawn. But around that 3,000 mark is the key level to be holding right now. If we do see a break below this level, and again, we're constant lower lows, lower highs here. So you have to interpret this as bearish until we start putting in some bullish market structure or even reclaiming former week's highs. So we'd be looking for a retrace down to here. I think that would all, if we did see something like this, we could expect that the Ethereum USD pairs and perp products, etc., would also be dipping back down to that key 285, 295 level as well. Very similar to Bitcoin. Look at this key level that's been unfilled down here, right? So what do we see here? This is a 3-day chart, guys. Interestingly enough, the Stoke is bottom. This is one of the best, long-term swing indicators, in my opinion. You can see here, this thing caught the bottom down here. Also, we didn't quite bottom out, but that But when you get that cross above the 20, that's a signal that there's strong momentum returning into the market. And typically you want to be entering into that trend on a lower time frame dip. So what are we seeing here? Again, bearish throwback. But if we do see that dip in ETH BTC and the USD pair does roll over, breaks this, this pivotal 300, 320 support level, it would satisfy this dip down here, 285, 280. And I'm not bearish on this stuff, guys. Like I do expect 2021 to be a fantastic year for crypto and the whole space. I just think that with the risk off window, if we're going to see a shakeout, it's going to be in this time, and that's why we've been exercising a little bit of caution, right? Like if we're going to have downside, it's going to be this quarter rather than 2021, right? Look at GDP growth across the board for most of the developed countries. It's in the negative territory. It's forecasting positive growth, 5 to 7% for a lot of the G7 countries next year. So I think next year is going to be the big upswing in the world economy and in crypto as well, depending on what happens here. Obviously, there could be another black swan event. I think if there's going to be a black swan event, it's going to either be from the emerging markets or from the EU, which I think we had a little article we wanted to pull up here on deflation expectations. I don't have it available. Basically, there's more deflation happening in the EU right now versus inflation. I think a lot of people in crypto, a lot of people, speculators have been expecting massive inflation through the QE pumps that we're seeing. But a lot of that stuff, it lags. It doesn't happen overnight, especially because the demand of USD is so strong. So I do think we will see inflation. I think we're just going to see it in different places first, right? And that's why we always highlight trading other gold markets other than USD is going to be your best opportunity here. So again, this is a very sinister looking chart right now. I would not want to be holding any gold longs under here. This is the most clear Wyckoff throwback level you could possibly wish for, and this is off a very key. Zoom out a little bit more. Look where it's off of. This bearish throwback level is off your former all-time highs, right? So I think, this is one of the most scary charts that we're keeping an eye on. However, it's very easy to trade this. There's huge opportunity here, right? Let's take a quick look. So if we do see the price moving back above and closing above this level, that's a huge signal to be getting, degenerately long on this stuff, right? Not only you have you're going to be breaking your diagonal. I know it's drawn shittily. Don't critique it though. It's so hard. You're going to be breaking your diagonal from the top. You're going to have the confirmation of flipping this back to support. You're going to have momentum. All the momentum indicators are going to be on your side as well. Reset after this historic run up. I think it's going to be a very easy trade up to at least these highs here at 2100. So good risk reward on that. Easy confirmation, right? And that's just the key. It's just being patient and waiting for that confirmation. Now to the downside, if we see a rejection here, it might do something like this. I would expect it to drop down to here, the 1760, 1800 level. Maybe some wicks into here. Huge volume profile. Like, I don't think this thing is going to be going below 1680 or anything. So I just think this is a huge buying opportunity because the gold is your long-term play against inflation, right? We do expect inflation to pick up in other countries. Let's take a quick look at what would be a good one. RBD USD. No, that's not it. What's the ruble one? Yeah, there we go. So you can see, oh my God, look at this shit. Oh, wow. So a lot of these currencies, and I'm just going off my head here, but I'll use the Russian ruble as an example. Huge support levels right now. Look at this. The R&R on this could be really, really interesting. I'm definitely not bullish on the Russian ruble. I think if the US, like, that's the risk here, guys. If the US dollar catches a bid and really strengthens over this for the rest of the quarter or even into 2021, this is going to be devastating for a lot of these fiat currencies. Russian ruble could be seeing, some drastic lows. Think Brazil, Argentina, Turkey. A strong US dollar is really bad for the Eurozone as well. Especially, you got huge flame-ups of Corona and contracting economies and a very fragile banking sector in Greece and Spain. So like the Eurozone, I think, could be the spark to light things off. And for the first time, there's an alternative for people. It's Bitcoin, it's crypto. This could be the wave that we're waiting for. Let's take a quick look. Is DeFi gone? That's the question. Is it dead? Is it ever going to come back? Yes, guys, it's coming back. It's going to come back with a vengeance. There's actually no slowdown in growth, despite some price contraction here, right? Look at this. We're up to $1.3 billion. I guess other assets are starting to be wrapped on here that we're not even looking at. I saw CMS Holdings did Zcash today, which I guess, as Nomad said, it kind of takes away the whole point of Zcash. True enough, but the point of this is that DeFi is here. It's here to stay. It's going to continue growing. The fees, they're actually peaking. It's sure enough, like TA works across so many data charts and everything, right? So Ethereum fees picking up again. Take a quick look here at the Uniswap info. So this is like an interesting thing we've been watching here. We highlighted it in our newsletter. Look at the liquidity. LPs continue to increase while volume is going down, right? And this really, this increase in liquidity correlates very well with what we've seen here. Look at what the top pools are. They're all stable coins. Interesting, hey? Well, if you're providing liquidity in these pools, you're basically hoping that there's no volatility. You just want to collect your yield. You don't want to lose any tokens on either side, and you want to move on. So this makes total sense. But yeah, keeping a close eye on this. Don't think DeFi is going anywhere. I think their market cap's sitting around 13 billion right now. I think if we see some strength in Bitcoin, a lot of the DeFi pairs are going to get wiped out. I think if we did see that Bitcoin bull where 11.4, where's DeFi going? Well, probably back down to this bullish throwback level again here at 1600, right? So that's going to, YFI definitely would be headed back down to those levels. But again, these aren't times to be panic selling. Do your research, identify the networks that are the most anti-fragile, have growth. You can do that through a mixture of ways, whether that be on-chain once your network is launched, tracking the amount of active addresses, transaction volume, etc. And then if it's off-chain, keeping an eye on the social metrics. How fast are Twitter channels growing? How many mentions are they getting on social media? Who's talking about them? Who follows them? There's all these hints that you guys can, that's publicly available, that can give you an idea of where the money's flowing without actually being able to access on-chain data. Another good one is just following funds. Who are they following, right? Twitter added a really great functionality where it gives you an alert when the people you're following follow somebody. So if you see if you've curated your followings really well and have lists and stuff, you can use TweetDeck, for example. You'll have some early insights. You'll be able to move quicker than, rather than waiting for them to tweet, right? So some free alpha there. Let's take a quick look back here at the, take a quick look at Uni. This has been one of the most volatile ones. It's a huge setup here on Uni right now. This is a key, I think it was the Monday low that Trader SC would say. We broke through it and currently looking, actually I'm going to not be a cuck, put this out to a little higher time frame here. We're looking at this bearish throwback level here, right here at 4.2. This has been a key support level for quite a bit. Huge bounce off it here. This entire consolidation block was based off of that. It flipped resistance right here again, turned to support. So this is a huge pivot level at 4.2. It's going to be some really easy trade. I'm putting this out to the 4 hour. There's going to be some really great trade setups depending on how price reacts here. So let's see what this could look like for you guys. So if you are short, I don't think there's any, take some profit here at the 4.2 levels, sure. But I don't think there's any real reason to close everything just yet. I would rather trail those stops because there could be quite a bit more downside here. This is that key daily level that we've been waiting for a while, 3.2, about 3.1 to 3.3. This is the impetus. This is the spring of that entire move up, of that historic run to $8 that caught everybody off guard, right? Yes, there's some lows here, right? But I think, if you're a market maker, there's a lot. Anybody who's been trading this range here, where's your stop going to be, right? If it's not this 4.2 low, which has already been swept, it's right down here at that 3.6 level, right? So at the very minimum, I'd be looking for these to get swept. If I saw a sharp buy up and this turned into a wick, I'd be pretty confident entering into for a knife catching long. And then depending on, again, what happens here at 4.2, if we moved above 4.2, I'd be very confident of holding that all the way back to 4.6, which was the other bearish throwback. This is, we had a little bit of a test here on this wick here, but we haven't seen a real recovery and drive into this to confirm this level. So on any move above, we're going to be looking, for up here, 4.6. So there's some great trades on either side of this. You got, what do we have here? You got 12% downside, or versus 20%, 20% upside if you can close it back above the 12%. Actually, that's not as great. I'm a uni bull, so if we go down here, I'm a buyer. I'm looking for that 3.2, 3.3 level. If Uniswap does follow through with their version 3 and unveiling their dividend tokens, there's going to be, this could probably be one of the biggest. I would expect this to be, top 10, top 5, easy, assuming Uniswap can continue their momentum here. In fact, this could be interesting. If we do hold these levels here at 4.2, so there's a technical chart pattern called an Adam and Eve bottom. The Adam is defined by a sharp V. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? What if we put in a U bottom, right? This is a huge, so it would line up really perfectly right off this resistance. So now you would have this confirmation. That's a bullish market structure. And what would we be looking for? The cup and handle, right? The cup and handle is a continuation pattern. And I've seen this before. I remember when Bitcoin was sub $700 and I saw this thing lining up. It was the greatest cup and handle Adam and Eve bottom. It never revisited that bottom. Bitcoin went on its amazing rally. So if we do get this nice Adam and Eve, this is going to be a fantastic setup. This could be a big swing trade, guys. We'll be looking for that 5.1 level to get tagged. And then the entry, if you miss this, don't worry. You're going to get that better entry down here. Why do I say better? But yeah, you're like, oh, but we missed out on this move, right? But now we've confirmed the market structure. You have multiple sources of, you got the daily support, you got the Adam and Eve, you'd have the cup and handle, right? If the volume looked good, you'd be expecting to see like a little volume drop off. So what we'd be looking for is a sharp volume spike on this here to drive it up high momentum, a rejection, and then volume fades, right? And then it hits this level, and then you see the volume spike. This happens time and time again. It's a fractal. Then you would be very confirmed that we'd be targeting at least up here, right? But I think a high, with this consolidation period that we would have been looking for, you probably 2.5 months at least. It'd be a high velocity move, and I'd be targeting much higher prices. So that's kind of what I'm looking for here on Uni, guys. There's huge, not necessarily great trades right now, but it's going to be setting up some really fantastic, 2-3x's just on spot prices. So a lot of opportunity. It's just a matter of waiting, right? Let's move over to the BNB. This is kind of an outlier, right? We've hit that. This is on the BNS chain announcement. I think that there's going to be a lot more projects looking to build on BNS. We're tracking their growth. It's moderate. We expect that's going to be picking up relatively soon here. But this is this market structure doesn't look bad. Nothing was violated. No lows. As long as we're above this $16, $17 level, I'm bullish on this one. So can we we kind of blasted through this bearish throwback level. So what happens when that happens? Well, we do this untested support, right? So what are we going to be looking for here? I expect this weekly resistance is going to get blown out at some part. And we're going to take a quick look at a centralized exchange index in a sec. That's something I use through Masari. So what are we going to be looking for here, guys? Well, I guess you could pull over this resistance. We're getting a little bit of that. But if we do take a drive up here, I would be looking to enter down here, $24, $25. If I see this supporting, I'm going to be very confident in this market structure and very confident in the high momentum breakout. from this. So I'm not looking to buy right here necessarily. I'd be looking to wait, have some patience, guys, for it to come down, confirm the support, and then I'd be looking for that high momentum breakout past $40. Let's take a quick look here at our favorite friends over here at Messari and load up this chart. So this is an index that tracks all the centralized exchange tokens. They've had a all right run. A lot of them missed the DeFi train, right? Actually, this one's down quite a bit. I think naturally a lot of these, the big winners are probably going to be FTX and Binance and Hxro. I know it's not on here, but they will be. They're just going to, as their fees ramp up, their burns are just going to get, compoundingly larger. So it's a no-brainer. It's just a matter, these guys have survived this long with regulations. A lot of them are interacting with regulators, becoming more legitimate. KYC is expanding. It's becoming the norm, right? I'm super bullish on this stuff. This is one sector that I wish I had more exposure to. Again, I think there's more value in holding the token equity in these coins and networks versus traditional equity, which in the companies themselves, which A, it's very difficult to get access to that, and B, the real downside for myself when I'm investing is that traditional equity is locked up. It's less liquid. There's less of a market for it, right? So getting exposure to these companies via their tokens is the best route to go. And I'm sure at some point, there's a project like Unilend that's going to be launching where you're going to have access to all your favorite ERC20 tokens and have the ability to collateralize loans, lending and borrowing, the foundations of economies. That's why I'm so bullish on the DeFi space, guys. We're about to unlock, the majority of these tokens don't even have access to any of these, DeFi services, and we're about to unlock that gate. So I think this DeFi run that's probably your most opportunistic space to be looking at right now still. Let's take a quick look actually while we're here at this DeFi performance. I bet it's going to mirror what we've been seeing here. It's probably not great for the majority of them. Slight downtrend. But look at this. Oh Jesus. Okay, we're just gonna close that and pretend that didn't happen. Okay, so let's get to the community requests, guys. If you have any charts you want me to take a look at, let's dive into. Okay, dumb question. How do you decide how much leverage to use on a trade? Generally, I trade with 20x leverage right across the board on my margin account, and I use cross. What is the typical position sizing for each trade? Typically, it's usually between 1 to 2% of my trading stack. But again, my strategy is that I'll add to a position if the momentum starts going my way. So I'll walk you through on how I would execute a trade then to give you some idea. Let's use Solana. That's a chart that we want to be looking at here. This is, actually, there has to be a better one. Okay, yeah, XTZ. Let's use this as an example here, and we'll go over this as well since I'm sure a lot of people. It's actually an interesting chart. It's at its key bearish throwback level right now, actually. Anyways, how I would be trading this? Let's see. So if I'm bearish, here's a really good example. This is a bearish throwback. Sure enough, rejection. If I take this initial short here, right, I'm not going to be adding on this thing until I see a breakdown of these ranges. So for example, we broke this range. Okay, well, I'm going to be looking to add. I don't add on the initial breaks because, as we say a lot, price tends to come back for those throwbacks. And those throwbacks are your optimal entry times, right? The direction and momentum's already confirmed itself, right? This is just, a lot of times just resting orders. And if you're going to get a spring, it's going to be off these levels. But if you see price momentum fading off once a low has been swept, it's usually a really good signal to be adding to your shorts. So I'd be adding on this. And where are my exits most of the time? It's at the next weekly support block, on the next blocks, right? So again, I'm just confirming the momentum on these bearish retests. Price breaks down, retest, momentum's bearish, I add to the short. Generally, I'll double up or triple up the position. But again, my position sizing is also going to be very variant depending on the liquidity in the markets, right? Like if you're trading, pulls, for example, or any of those Uniswap pairs, 5 ETH might move the market, 10% or something. It's not practical, and that's why we keep saying you need to be positioning yourself in the more liquid markets if you're looking to trade with size. Because if you get stuck in a wrong position, I'm just going to use MTA for example, because I've been a huge bear on this one for a long time. I did actually take a long. We tweeted it out off that once they announced their staking. Sure enough, right back down it goes, right? So this is a very illiquid market. It's very difficult to even get 3,000 contracts. So if you're adding in, and it goes your wrong way, and you're at your normal positioning sizing, whatever that may be, you're going to be taking a much bigger loss because just your stop's going to trigger, and it is just going to market sell the book. Thin liquidity, you could have a 15-20% slippage, which not fantastic at all, and you'd probably be putting in the bottom. So that's my thoughts on position sizing and how I look to take trades. And it's the exact same thing on the bull side, right? If I'm bullish off a level, say, I was bullish here for some reason off MTA perp. Oh, actually, no, let's use Bitcoin. Let's use something tangible here. If I'm bullish, you should have been buying this and closing your shorts at this bullish throwback. I'm not adding to this position until Bitcoin breaks 11.1, 11.2. Right? I'm waiting for that confirmation of the momentum, right? So it's the exact same philosophy. Price needs to reclaim the bearish throwback levels that they originally broke down from. Once those happens, that's your trigger to, I usually double up. Like, again, I think the problem that people have with trading is that they don't know when to press their bet, right? If I know I have, 80, 85% odds of the trade going in my favor, with an awesome, 4-to-1, 5-to-1 RR, I'm taking that, bet more. Because those opportunities are far and in between. Most of the time, markets are choppy. There's no real good opportunities for that expansion trade. So take advantage when the confirmation comes in, right? Long your long, short your shorts. All right, let's get into some charts here, guys. AR, this is a fantastic chart. Fantastic market to be trading. One of the highest active OTC two-way markets, right behind Polkadots. Actually, I don't know if it's on here. Oh, they did add it, so they've been expanding a little bit. Okay. Let's see, what do we got? We'll use this one. Oh, wow. Look at that. What a beautiful chart. Absolutely amazing here, guys. So you can see, these levels were all pre-drawn. And sure enough, like I said, I think we looked at this before, if these weekly levels were to go, expect drops to the weekly level. Well, look what happened. Look at that, right into the fucking weekly level. Couldn't even sweep the lows, right? So you're getting these, that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, wait, set your bids in these levels. If you are going to be doing knife catching, let it be at key weekly and daily support levels. So this looks pretty good. The buyback volume hasn't been great, but I would assume, the books are very shitty and thin. It's on Bittrex. Oh, wow. Yeah, what an absolutely amazing chart. This is super bullish. So what am I going to be looking for now? Very messy on the resistance. You're going to get a lot of this, again, in these liquid markets and stuff. So this looks pretty good. What am I going to be looking for now? So I can't long this, obviously. It's gone up 100% in 3 days. So that opportunity is gone, my friends. So what's the next opportunity? It's buying the dip. If we are so lucky, this is also going to be a level we have to watch. You just can't ignore that many wicks. Like, as good as this level is down here, right? You can't ignore this. So what's that? Around like $4? Yeah. So if price comes back down here, oh, look at that. If price comes back down here and I see some bouncing like that and a higher low off this daily level, I'd be looking to get long. Where would I be longing to? Probably up here, be your first target, the 650 mark. Again, there's no price data, right? So it's very difficult to choose where your targets are for this stuff. I'm just assuming intraday scalping at the moment, guys, here. So yeah, you'd be looking for something like that, and then just the staircase through these resistance levels. So that's what we're going to be looking for in Arweave. Looks good. I wish I would have looked at this chart a little bit soon, but can't watch them all. Where would I be getting bearish on this? Well, if it broke down below this 4.1, you'd be expecting a retest back down to 3.4. And macro, high time frame bearish market structure. If it were to break this level here at 2.5, I'd be pretty concerned. I'd be looking for a retrace back down to 1.7. And same thing with the OTC market. This price pinged between 75 cents, $1.20 for a good 5 months, right? So there's a huge liquidity base down at these levels in the secondary markets. As I if I looked at on the centralized exchanges, very similar. Okay, let's take a look at polls. I think this is something that I was already looking at. Yes, again, this is just a fantastic chart. They had one competitor, PokeSwap. Their team had some internal conflict, delayed their launch, gave PokeStarter the momentum they needed to get first to market. And this is why first to market can be so in your favor here. These guys launched at $1 million market cap, or I think $864,000 or something. Just tremendous growth here. Chart looks really good. The vesting schedule for this stuff, the pre-sale price was 2.5 cents. That's a 25% unlock. And then every quarter, you're going to get another 25%. And then the seed round was down there at 1.5 cents. I'm not sure of the vesting right off my head, but you can use that. That vesting information is very important to know, because that's when you can count on that. That's when you're going to see a massive fluctuations in the supply and the available supply, right? And generally, that's when you see some down days, people locking in profits and gains. But again, this thing's gone up 26x, and all of the early sellers in the pre-sales, it's been absorbed. So that's super interesting, and that's kind of something we've been watching for on the Uniswap token, or the Uni token, is that the majority of the people who received those airdrops have all sold, right? So the resistance up becomes less and less, right? So that's what we're looking for right now. This looks really good. Where would you be looking to get in if we did see a dip? Well, I normally don't use this place for charting. If it works, it works. Okay, it's not letting me. Fair enough. I probably don't have their token. I'd be looking for 41 cents. This is going to be, again, this is a 4-hour chart. It's only been live for about 36, 48 hours now. But 42 cents seems like the key level to be holding here. Anywhere from 32 to 42. That's what I'm looking for. In terms of highs, I don't know. I don't know how high this can run. Obviously, there's going to be that psychological resistance up there at $1. But yeah, they have that first mover advantage. I know that I think there's probably going to be some larger centralized exchange listings. Poloniex already listed them. Huobi's following them, and that's the stuff that I was saying at the top of the stream, guys. It's like, if you're investing in these projects, you're trading these projects that just launched, follow their social media metrics closely. Who's following them? Who are they interacting with, right? So that's that. I don't think we need to take a look at that anymore. ARUSD, retracing a little bit. I quickly did want to touch here on the commodities, especially here on silver, because I think there's going to be a real fantastic opportunity, long-term positions that you can hold. And there's crypto platforms out there like SimpleFX, another one, Ledger Prime. Do they offer that? Where you can use your crypto to trade this stuff, right? Well, if I think inflation is going to be happening in the markets, especially around the world, in the weaker economies, which I do, I want exposure more so on silver than I do gold. And look at that. It's almost come back down to this bullish throwback level here. If you can scoop 19.6 or $20 to $18, that's what I'm looking for. And I'd be looking to hold, I'm looking for the big trade on this one, guys. I'm looking for this $35, $40 level up here, right? Look at all of this. Add to some untested liquidity. So that's what I'm looking for. And I do think we're going to see a very similar velocity here off this level, right? I don't think it's going to be a simple, tap and go. Probably going to consolidate a little bit here. But if I do see this, I'd be looking to consolidate. I'd be looking to accumulate in this area right here. And it's very clear validation, right? Anything below $16,
And I think market structure is broken. There's something's happening in the world, but it's very clear in validation for a tremendous upside. And you can leverage this at 100 to 1 at this point. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. All right, AVAX. Yes, there's a lot of stuff going on there. We're talking about this one internally. Last time I checked, it was at range lows. Let's take another look here. Let's see. We use Huobi. Okay, maybe Huobi's not the best chart. Bitfinex. Okay, we'll use Bitfinex. Sure. Was Bitfinex? Who was the first guys to list these? Does anybody know who would have the most detailed? Binance is on that. Okay, we'll use this one here. This looks really good. Okay, draw it off the range here. So this one's peaked up off these range lows. Again, not a lot of price history, but why do we like this level? Because it's a throwback, right? So get our resistance mapped out, get the targets mapped out. Again, not a lot of price history on this stuff. Hasn't been out there long, but there's some nice structure shaping up here. I'm not the biggest fan of diagonals with only 2 hits. Again, the more taps on a diagonal, the higher weighting I give it. But nonetheless, I draw them. I've drawn them for 8 years. I don't plan on stopping. So what are we going to be looking for? What? Well, it's very simple. This is the bearish throwback level right here, at 4.3. If we see a close above this level, see a close above here, this is going to be confirmation, or your first early signal that this thing's ready to go. So I would be looking to take a long off this. I'd be targeting around this, at a minimum, probably 5.4, 5.4, 5.5 into this wick here, right? So, if I miss this initial break, that's okay, right? It's probably going to find resistance somewhere around here, like 5.6, 5.7. So if it came off that, I'd be looking to enter here on the confirmation of this retest, right? The former 4-hour level here. If this flips to support, I'm going to be I'm going to be feeling really confident that we're at the very minimum going to be running these highs, these range highs here, targeting this block up here. What's that look like in terms of percentages and opportunity? Well, your downside is going to be capped below this range. If this were to break, say below, I'll give it some room below 3.8. I'd be pretty concerned. I'd probably want to be exiting the market and waiting for some bottom signs to show up. I like momentum, right? And right now, there's some unconfirmed, it hasn't made it yet, but unconfirmed bear div on momentum forming here, right? We have, and how can we show that? Okay, well, God, I hate that feature. If we see a higher, if this gets all the way up here and we're putting in lower lows, it's not going to look good, right? Especially if we line up this key level here. I'd be very confident that we'd be getting that throwback if we're up here and putting in higher lows, that we'd see that resistance and then we get that throwback. This would reset. It would work out that low time frame bear div, and I'd be happy. So keeping an eye on that. But again, I like this as long as this low here holds. Looks good to me. Not in it. Don't have any skin in the game. All good. Okay, XVH, Haven. Don't know too much about this one. It's only on another Bittrex pair. All the best coins are on Bittrex. At some point in their life. Okay, this is a nasty M formation right now. Yeah. Okay. So again, wow, look at the Wyckoff throw. I love it when you guys give me charts I haven't looked at and I get to analyze the market structure. And you just immediately see this stuff. Look at that. Wow. Okay, so this is a really nice chart. Draw here. So what are we looking for right now? Well, obviously we'll finish that off there. Probably going to be looking for this weekly level here to hold. Just like that. So, your 1.5 medium. Okay. So what are we going to be looking for here? Fantastic pop off here. Look at that, guys. Breakout. No need to chase it because it came right back down to that bullish throwback level, right? Sure enough, supports and off she goes. So that's why we say there's no point in trying to catch knives unless they're coming into key levels, because that's going to be where you're going to have your highest probability of a reversal in price. So we've come back up to this weekly level, hit it again. Sure enough, there's no need to FOMO. If you're looking to get long on this, you're going to be looking for that 1.5, right? Very clear invalidation here. If it breaks these lows, 1.3 or so, I would imagine, I'd be looking for a retest down here. However, if you're bullish, if we see support off this level, this to me would confirm the bullish momentum of an already confirmed bullish market structure, right? So if we see momentum, come back in here, a little higher low, this is going to be a confirmation to get back in. We would be targeting, again, this 2.6 area. There's not a lot of price history up here. It's a lot of air. So anywhere from here, you're going to have price discovery above 3.5. If we came back down here like that, up there, and then you'd be looking for this range resistance to what? To flip to support. And then it would just continue its staircase, right? So that's what I'm going to be looking for. The key level here, guys, to hold is that 1.5 level. If that fails, we're looking for a retest back down to these weekly lows here. 60 cents, 65 cents, it looks like, without zooming in. Hopefully that helps. Algorand, I actually already have that one pulled up. We use it a lot as an example on our feeds. Where is it here? We're also going to take a quick look at REN because that one's put in some really great market structure. Where's my Algorand chart? Oh, here it is. Perfect. Okay, so this was that daily support. We were begging people, wait. Sure enough, look at that. Came right back down to that weekly support level. You got the this is a weekly trend line. So, the higher the time frame, the more weight you got to give this stuff. Perfect bounce. So what are we looking for here? Well, it's not out of the woods yet. Like, yes, it's we're still chopping around this daily support block. Let's see how big this range is. 12%. That's pretty big if you're on leverage. So I think the upside target, we've gone over it before. It's still going to be that 49 to 50 cent level, right? Like, there's a huge gap there in the volume profile. If we can clear this level, like, where would I be confident of seeing a long? I probably wouldn't want to be getting long until we saw this daily block here get reclaimed. I know it's waiting for a lot, but I just, with this stuff, with these mid caps, I don't like day trading it at all. I just want to get into like nice swing positions, and I want to be in momentum plays. So I'd be happy with this 30% trade. I didn't have my bids filled. They were a little bit too low. I got too greedy, guys. And that's why you should be spreading out your bids, but didn't listen to my own advice. Anyways, I'm not interested in this. What do I care about an 11% move? I want the big boy right here, right? This would be a high velocity move. I would expect it would move very quickly. Algorand loves to do that once it breaks levels. Just the momentum just fucking kicks in, right? So that's how I like to trade. That's what I'm waiting for. This is resistance, guys. I'm sorry, but this is bearish throwback resistance. Let's just change this, right? Bearish throwback. And this would be your target. So if you are long, congratulations. There could be a little bit more, you should be taking a little bit of profit here, but I do see a little bit more upside. What a fantastic trade, 50%. Possibly in a month, right? So that's what I'm looking for in Algorand. I'm still very skeptical. Like, oh God, I just can't. This fractal here, this head and shoulders, and this head and shoulders here, and then it's coming back into the bearish retest. I'm not a bull just yet, guys. I need to see a little bit more on that one. The daily is also making its way up. It's actually putting in some daily bear div on the momentum. Like, this one's even more obvious. It's not confirmed yet, right? It hasn't flipped back down. But we can see it here clearly making its way. That's hidden bear div. It's not confirmed yet, but keeping an eye on it. If it does break these ranges, it would take care of that. Wouldn't be a thing. That's what we're looking for there. ZIL. I've never heard of this one. Are they chartable on here? Okay, it is. ZIL USD Binance. Let's take a look at it, guys. Oh, okay. Wow, this is a really old coin, isn't it? Zilica. Do you know something about this one? Okay. Well, guys, look at this. Could this be a cup and handle? I love cup and handles. I don't tweet about them so often anymore, but wow, look at this. Some really easy charting here, guys. Look at this block. This will probably get respected a little bit. You see, this is what I'm saying. Like these levels get run, right? Like everybody who was short, if you somehow held for a full year, congratulations on that. But anybody who was short, like they got run, right? And then sure enough, price gets wrecked, retraces back down. So what? Oh wow, look at that. This is a really nice chart. So what are we going to be looking for here? Okay, let's get into it now that we've mapped it out. So what am I looking for? Well, this is a really nice rounded bottom, followed by the handle, and it can come all the way down to this to the neckline. Like technically, it could have wicked down here, right? You don't want to see it, but it can happen. Like ideally, your handle puts in a higher low, right? But you could also make the case for, and like, I'm not making that case, but some may, of a really weird fucking inverted head and shoulders. So as long as this low here holds, you got to be bullish, right? So I'd be targeting again, if we do break these levels here at the this is going to be your main resistance area, right? This 3 point right here. It's a big range. It's like 10%, 03 to 035. But if price holds this level, stabs back up here like that, turns this would be the alpha omega long, like if you held through this, this would be the reload zone, and where it would be confirming that this resistance here is now, and this is a weekly time frame, guys, week. We'd be looking for a huge expansion, up to probably this weekly block up here. This is an old coin. I wonder how many people have sold. Had a really long consolidation period here at the lows. So I would imagine there's been some really solid shakeouts. Look at the buy volume here. Yeah, it's been pretty good. It's actually increased. So that's interesting to see. What would be the bearish case? Well, it's a break of this low here, guys. 006 is what it looks like. So anything below 006, and yeah, you're probably targeting, a bit back down to here, this little range. 05. Yeah, 005. Jesus. These numbers are so small. Anyways, looks good. That's what I'm waiting for. I wouldn't take a trade just right here, kind of a weekly intraday throwback resistance level. I think if you were to bring this down to like a 2-day chart, you'd see that a little bit more clear. Yep, sure enough, there it is. So this level here, right? This is what I need to see get broken. What would I be looking for in terms of some upside if this level gets broken? Well, you could say, getting along off that, that's huge. 35% move up to the range resistance, right? So there's some opportunity there, guys. That's what I'm waiting for. That's what you should probably wait for too. Bearish below this level, bullish for upside all the way up to this 035 level. If we can break this little range resistance right here at 02. Hopefully that helps. Actually, let's take a quick look at Zcash. One of my least favorite coins, like consistently over years for the last 2 years. The reason why is because of the inflation schedule. I hate buying the coins with high inflation. Yes, I know there's a halvening coming. It makes this coin a whole lot more exciting. But, for the years that it's been shilled to me, nothing but downside, boys. So let's take a quick look here. Actually, I'm going to have to bring this thing up to the weekly. Pretty messy, but, it's come back into a really nice weekly level here. So we'll start with that. Very similar to that last chart there, hey? Oh, wow, look at that. What a great R&R for a long. You're looking at even downside here. You're only looking at 25%. That's pretty good. So first let's get the resistance throwbacks here. So this is the key level that price needs to break for, some real expansion here. Because where's your big resistance level going to be? Well, obviously up here at this weekly block, right? Look at that. So now, once you've mapped out those levels, you can start. This is the trade you want. This is the expansion trade, right? You're looking at 44 to 50%. We'll just keep it down here. We'll be conservative, right? And that still looks really good. And your risk would be much lower than what it is right now. So yeah, this key level, I'm actually going to put an alarm. Thanks for bringing this chart to my attention. I'm going to put an alarm here right below $45. Sorry, $48. No, 45. So anything above $45, I'm bull. Look at this support level on the weekly. Absolutely amazing. And the fact that we've had this breakout, this high momentum breakout, look where it came to. Right into that bearish throwback zone. And sure enough, it's supported where it needed to support. Yeah, the first support where it could have supported would have been here at $72. It failed, right? And that's why these trades are so great, because even if you waited for the failure of this zone, what did it give you? Wow, a nice 26% move, right? So that's why waiting for the breaks of the ranges is so important, because it confirms the momentum of the move, right? So again, we're going to be waiting. There's no reason to be taking a long just here. It's still 20. You could trade this. It's a 15 to 20% move to the upside. I'm not interested in it just yet. Again, if I didn't have bids filled down here, I'm going to be waiting for a break of this bearish throwback. Labeling these charts for my own use. And then I would be targeting this weekly range resistance all the way up here. Moving on, it's BZRX. BZRX. Don't know what these guys do. I know it's something DeFi related. Okay. Interesting. So they're on Binance, they're on Poloniex. Look at the amount of markets they have on Binance. Were they invested by them or something? I wonder. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That is not a chart that you want to see. Literally nothing but fucking death. Let's see what we can do with it. Oh, God. Oh, I hate looking at these things. I guess it's trying to put in a bottom. It's so early. Like, people could say, oh, we're forming a bottom up here. Well, people say prices can go no lower. It went another 40% lower. So what are we going to be looking for here? If we can, this could actually be a really good setup. So if we can agree, and again, there's literally no data to go off to support this level other than price just happened to stop there. So this is going to be your support. And it's untested support. What the fuck am I thinking? Like, there's nothing verifying this support level even exists yet. But oh wow, is that kind of a little bit of falling wedge there too? Very interesting. So once you've drawn your support, identify your resistance. How do you identify that? Well, a lot of the time, former support becomes resistance, right? So that's what we're going to be targeting here. We'll label that bearish throwback. These become your targets, right? So a lot of people have difficulties in orders and entries, exits and entries. Use Wyckoff theory for that. People have problems with identifying targets. Use Wyckoff theory for that. That's why this system is so great. So what are we going to be looking for in terms of triggering that long? Well, if we can see, we've already had this down move. Let's come back up. If we do see this turn into a low, guys, what does that look like? Higher low W formation, a nice little V followed by that little rounded bottom. I'd be a buyer of this, honestly, with like a stop below these lows, 1.6 to account maybe for some liquidage. I'd have to look at the books, right? See how liquid this thing is. But I'd be looking for a move. Obviously we're going to, this will get respected probably, right? So we'd be looking for something like this, bounce off there and then to there. So this would be the bullish setup I'd be looking for. I would, be taking some profit at this 0.26 range. If we did see a move above, and I saw that would be confirmation of, this is a bullish reversal. It's confirmed at this point. And then you would also have that inverted head and shoulders set up. So you can either be risking this play down here on the intraday stuff, or you could be looking to set up that swing trade, right? Why do I say a swing trade? Because your next big level is going to be up here, right? So you could play around down here on the intraday stuff, looking to play this range, and this is going to probably be your range here, right? Like 0.25 all the way down to 0.15. That's a pretty big range, right? But I'd be more interested in the swing trade, right? It's 0.26 all the way up to 0.42. This would be the trade I'd be looking for. But again, if we see confirmation of this low here, your risk, your downside risk is capped down there at 0.16. That's about 10-15% from here, and your upside is tremendous. So that actually looks pretty good. I wouldn't want to be taking that long just yet. The confirmation isn't there, but that's probably something that I'd be looking for. If this does fall through, I have no idea where it could go. I don't know what the inflation of this coin is. I don't know what the distribution schedule is. So you need that information to make a really informed trading decisions, right? Can't always just trade the chart. You got to understand the inflation mechanisms behind the stuff, who holds it, all that stuff. Great. Is there any other things that we haven't gone over? Is there anything in the trading view? No, I don't think so. Ram009, welcome to the stream. Thanks for hopping in. Oh, this is interesting, guys. We're getting close to that 1 p.m. close here in the legacy markets. S&P selling down a little bit here. Fucking nasty hourly candles. So again, let's just zoom this. Why am I looking at the S&P? Well, because crypto's been so goddamn correlated with it. Yeah, big level right there. So what you want to be doing in these situations is be taking those former key levels. So these are the former, oh my God. For fuck's sakes, look at that. Sometimes the market just gives you these beautiful price reactions. So again, no reason to be bullish on the SPX until we are above this level. Look at that. We were wicked right into the all-time highs and getting some rejection off there. So very clear setups, what we're going to be seeing here. This is kind of probably dictate the rest of the few days in crypto as well. Bullish for crypto above this level. It's that simple, guys. 3,400 or so, 3,390. Rejection here, and expect get back down to there or something. Our levels have been pretty spot on here. This is a huge level that I would love to see filled. This was the impetus for that, right? Same thing for this. What's interesting is that the retests of these levels have resulted in higher moves. I wonder if we'd see that for a third time. Imagine that, right? And this would assume that we're in this risk off window going into the election, right? Isn't it crazy how everything is lining up so well in the markets? It's fucking amazing. So anyways, yeah, if we do, the election gets settled, risk back on, people know what's going to be happening for the next 4 years. There's no mysteries of what the Fed is doing or anything like that. They're targeting inflation. They're going to have to fight deflation in the short term. Stagflation is the most likely outcome for now. I think if anything, their comments, from Powell and the Fed boards has been to deter the prospect of deflation. You can look at that in the 5-year and the 10-year forward expectations in deflation. It's one of those things, same thing in crypto, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Something may not be happening, but if everybody thinks it's going to happen, it happens. That's generally how it's the whole idea behind technical analysis to some degree, right? A lot of groupthink, pattern recognition, all that stuff. All right, quick check back here on the majors. Again, guys, look at this. How can you be bullish at the bearish throwback? Just stop. Save yourself some money. Dry powder, right? There's so many more interesting projects out there right now. NFTs, we didn't even get into talking to this stuff yet. CoinGecko added an index. I think it's still around about $1 billion. I think people are just we're just scraping the surface on this stuff right now. There's the real value unlocked for NFTs, in my opinion, is going to be through it's the convergence of gaming and NFTs. NFTs on their own, there's some applications, but NFTs included in digital economies, now that's interesting, right? I think that's going to be the big, the application that sends this, to exponential growth is probably going to be there, right? How do we solve the fraud that we could see in NFTs with constant copies and stuff like that? It's just one giant experiment right now. There's no clear winners, right? So pepper your bets, right? Don't put all your eggs in one basket right now. But in terms of branding and like successful companies are really good at communicating their stories, their whys, their missions, and having really good branding is part of that. NFT protocol, like what more could you want for a name for a ticker, right? Like these guys have positioned themselves to set up. They're launching a DEX for trading NFTs. I'm definitely keeping a close eye on this. I don't have a large bag here right now, but yeah, keeping an eye on that stuff for sure. Again, look at this dollar, guys. Look at this dollar on this bullish throwback level. Look at that little 4-hour pivot candle. So keeping an eye on that. Again, the dollar, don't count it out yet. If you're going to be bullish on it, this is the level to be holding. It could wick down a little bit more. But again, I think crypto is going to be really correlated with this for the next 4 weeks in this risk-off window. Dots. I did not cover dots. We've been so focused on the layer 2 applications. There's so many exciting things launching there. Let's take a quick look at it. Actually, I won't bring this down to an hourly. What's going on there? See, this is interesting, right? Remember we talked about putting in those higher lows. If I were long off this right now, I'd probably have my stop, right below here, to be honest, at 22,000 mark. Why? Because if I see a violation of this, I'm very confident it's just going to be retesting this block. I think I'd be able to buy much lower, right? So, I'm going to keep I'm actually going to set an alarm on this one. I really like that. However, there is bear div on the momentum, so I'm not triggering this yet. With the way DeFi perp is looking, same thing with the aftermath from the Andre's latest blow up, testing in production. Going to hold on pulling the trigger on that one. OMG. Okay, but let's take a quick look here at DOT, guys. This project is going to be top 3 market cap within, I don't know, probably a year and a half, I would assume, especially if we see an exponential run. Lower high, lower high, lower high. Okay. Actually, let's see if we can bring this up to the weekly. Doesn't look the greatest either. Sometimes, again, there's just not a lot of data on this stuff, so you just got to look for those levels. Right. We'll go off this daily block down here. It's large, so, apologies, but it is what it is. This is clearly a descending triangle, isn't it? You're not going to get the greatest, like you can go off, let's go off the blocks, actually. Bodies. Yeah, okay. That gives a little bit more clear picture. Anyways, this is the key level to be holding here at 3.7 on dots. This is your bullish throwback level. Kind of concerning at the first look, to be honest. Actually, it's confirmed to support. Let's call it support. It's had multiple touches. It's had positive price reactions. So why is this concerning to me? Because the velocity has been less and less on every single bounce. Look at this, right? You get that first reaction, nice. Second reaction, ooh, not so nice, right? And look at the volume. Volume peak, volume peak, volume peak. Whoop, each high is coming in on lower volume. Bearish divergence. So we need this, bulls need this 3.5 support level to hold. If it does get broken, where's this going? Guys, this thing is headed back down here. Actually, let's take this proper. Let's draw you a proper target. This was the impetus for this entire move. It's an untested throwback zone as well, right? There's a lot of confluence, and it's a daily support level. A lot of confluence lining up here at $3.27, isn't there? So what I'd be looking for, so this is going to be the throwback level. This is my confirmation level, right? So if I see price moving back above this level, I'm going to be getting bullish, right? It's kind of signaling early that the momentum is shifting for the bulls. So that's going to be around 4.7. Let's call it $5 to be safe. This level right here, right? If we can move back above this like that, I think we'd be off to the races. Right now, we don't have that confirmation. We have to assume bear, right? Because that's what the market's telling us. Look at that, higher low. Sorry, higher low, lower high, lower high, lower high, consecutively, right? So this is very similar to what we're seeing here. Nice little pennant forming here, contracting range. This thing is probably going to blow within the next 3 to 4 days would be my guess with the way this is looking. So if this support goes, I'm going to be looking for a retrace back down to that $3 level. And from there, I would have some bids scattered here. If I'm looking to catch a knife, it's going to be in this level. You got the daily confluence, you got the throwback getting filled, right? This is untested. You have your momentum indicators, they'd be drowned out. Even momentum, like the same, I was bashing the bull volume, but even the sell volume has been going down. This is just a classic consolidating market, right? So, coming down here, depending, if we do see a move down on low volume, that would be further confirmation of that you're going to want to be buying this, right? You got lower lows on lower selling momentum. That's bullish. So I'd be looking, this would confirm my buy here. I'd then be looking for this support level here at 3.5 to get tested. This would become a bearish throwback, right? Because the momentum broke through it. So you would have to treat it as such. If you saw it then come back down, make the higher low, off she goes. That would be your swing trade. This is your confirmation of the swing trade, right? The daily block has been filled. The bearish retest has happened. We've put in the higher low. The bull momentum has been confirmed. We should have enough velocity to escape this resistance level. That's what I'm going to be looking for. The most bullish thing that we could see here, very easy again, is that the 3.7 support level holds like that, puts in a higher low, and then breaks this downtrend, and off she would go. You'd be looking at again that 5.5 level, and then the 6.5, around $6. So very simple stuff there, guys. A lot of these markets are in consolidation patterns. No clear trend just yet. Let's just wait for the breaks of these ranges for the expansions. Take a quick look at the OMG. And, people were really talking about this thing when they made the Tether announcement. It's been quiet since then. Fade the news. Did we see that? Yes, we did. This looks like a really interesting chart to chart. Look at that. I bet a lot of people didn't think this would come back to get filled, right? Okay, didn't quite get down there. So this is technically an unfilled gap, but where did it go? Well, at the very minimum, it came back down to this low block here. Okay, so very, very similar to a lot of these other charts, guys. It's stuck in a range, right? It's a very wide range, but nonetheless, a range. Look, oh my God, 62% range. Absolutely amazing. So what are we going to be looking for here? Well, you got your bearish throwback resistance here at 4.5. We have some levels up here, so this would be your target. Okay. It's going to be your target 1, target 2. That's it. Very simple. Okay. So what are we going to be looking for support? Obviously, can't get long right off this, right? We want to be getting a long off here. Wow, look at that. This is a daily, guys. So what do we have here? An intraday daily range forming. Almost in the midpoint of this range as well. So now that we have this drawn out, oh, this is actually a 3-day chart. Oh, and look at that stoke. Jesus Christ. That looks fucking tasty. Yum. Yeah, if I saw this, whoopsies. If I saw this come back down here, back to this 3.2 level, I would try and catch that knife, especially, or if I didn't, I'd be waiting for that higher low off of this. I think this is a great level. You have your throwback here, right? Former resistance, that would confirm support. You got former support here. So this kind of confirms this level for me. When I see this, a former support resistance flip already, that confirms the level for me. So if I saw this flip back to support, I'd be getting incredibly bullish with your target being around this 4.4, 4.5 level, right? You'd be expecting this. And ideally, if you're bull, you would want to see this resistance flip to support. And then you'd be targeting, a high momentum move like this or something, right? Generally, when you get into these expansion trades, this is called the markup in the Wyckoff theory. And these tend to be very quick and high momentum moves versus these, where these throwbacks, these first initial breakout throwback. It's very tame, like the range here, right? This is what you're looking for. And the consolidation times tend to be a lot less. Right, so you'd have and it lines up with a 3-drive pattern as well. You got your first drive, your second drive, your third drive, right? 1, 2, 3. So you get a lot of confluence in these market structures, right? So this is a really interesting chart. I looking to buy that 3.3 level with upside targets around 4.5, 5.5, 6.1. Scalability before ETH 2.0. Yeah, like there's a lot of networks that are preaching scalability, and that's kind of what their whole marketing dynamic is right now, especially with a lot of Polka projects right now. Our competitors are clogged. It's expensive to use. Come use us. OGN, last minute request. Okay, let's put it up there. Is there anything else there that we see? Okay, good stuff. Origin protocol. Oh God, I hate these charts. These Eiffel Tower charts. But it has come back into a support level, so we won't ignore that. Let's take a look on the weekly. Oh, nice little doji there. Okay. Draw off there, there, to there. Like that. It's making higher highs, higher lows. Market structure is technically bullish, but I hate trading these Eiffel Tower charts. So nice key weekly level right here. Something right there. Yeah, a little bit of something there. Okay, so what we're going to be looking for here then is, this 0.12, 0.15. We can call this support because it has had multiple touches. It's not untested. And why you label this stuff is because it's going to help you with your stop losses. You need to know when to cut your positions. Sometimes for example, if I saw, if I were zooming this into an intraday level, like down to the 4 hour or something, and I saw like a 4 hour level go, I'm probably going to let it go if I know that there's 10% downside or something. But I know, in this case 30%. So I would definitely let that one go. But I know at the very least, like I'm not going to be reactionary, right? I'm being proactive. I know where I'm going to be looking to get back in. Right? I know the levels that I'm going to be watching for. I'm not just, making senseless bets with no information behind me. If we do see a move back, again, this is just so wiki. I can't imagine how liquid this thing is. But if we do see a move back above this level, that to me would signal that we're about to see a run up to this here, right? It's very simple. Like if I see confirmation of a break, I expect gaps and ranges to be filled. So that's what I'm going to be looking for here. Any move above this 27 cents, I'd be looking for 35.5. Again, I wouldn't be taking this long. I've already missed, it didn't even hit my entry point. So I'd be flat on this one if I were trading it. And I would not want to be getting long because this is going to be a weekly resistance level. So it's below your weekly resistance level. Why get long at the mid-range? Too much risk, not enough reward. So wait for this level to get retaken here at 2.7, targeting that 3.5 level. I'm sure you guys could tell me a little bit more on the fundamental side of things, if there's anything cool coming out here. Otherwise, your support, this thing needs to hold, that 14 cents. Otherwise, get your scuba diving gear out. This thing would probably be headed back down to, 9 cents. And I think that's everything right now. Last check into the majors, nothing really happening here at the moment. 30 minutes till market close in the legacy markets. Kind of just, consolidating, flagging out, shrinking range. Okay, one last minute trading view request. Let's do it. What's the ticker on that? Lambda. Okay. Oh, wow. Hit BTC. Not a fan of this exchange at all. But let's see. Oh, wow. So this is definitely an illiquid one. This is a classic Eiffel Tower. However, it is coming back into the throwback range. So let's chart it out, see what we can find. Okay. I'd probably go off here like that. Okay. Oh, God. Look at those wicks. How big is this thing? Oof. Oof. Okay, so I'm looking for, if you're bullish, this is the level to hold. You would suspect that we're going to have a positive price reaction here at 2.5 cents, about that. So in terms of like your downside risk here, this doesn't look great by any means, guys. Still 40%. Like, holy fuck. Huge resistance level here as well. Right here around that, 6, 7, about 6.5, 7 cents. So anything below this level, and it doesn't inspire a lot of confidence to me. If we were able to pull, above here, okay, I could see some, upside movement to where, like, I guess this is a weekly level. Again, that's why you pull from the left, right? Like this wick just didn't go into nowhere. It was based off of here, right? So this kind of confirms that weekly resistance level. But this is a very wide range. So, if you're bullish, you can set some bids down like 26, 27 cents, or sorry, 2.7 cents. Yeah, around there. And then you'd be targeting, 7 cents or so. But, this is a nasty chart. This is why I hate trading these liquid coins. I don't know what it does. And if it broke this level down here at 2.6, I'd probably exit, expecting a retest at the very minimum down here at 1.6. Former range lows got broken, right? So that's what I'm looking for here. I think that's going to be everything for us, guys. Hopefully you learned something from this. Remember, if you like the content that we're putting out there, smash the subscribe button, smash the like button. We will be back here with RT and myself this Friday, same time, 11 p.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for that correction. We'll be diving into the charts, any major news, and I believe we're going to be having Wendy O on next week with RT on Monday. So be sure to tune in to that, put it on your calendars, and we will see you again here on Friday. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Adios. I didn't my OTC tweet.